Imagine a league built by the people, for the people. A league dedicated to the economic development of your city. So the question becomes, how good are the 32 teams that play in the minor football league? Well, there's only one way to find out. You have to experience the MFL.
Welcome to another edition of Inside the MFL. I'm your host, Dr. Richie D. Myles Sr., CEO, Chairman, and founder of the Minor Football League. The Minor Football League is the laboratory of change. I'm sporting my alma mater here in Arizona State. For y'all that went somewhere else in the Pac-8, at that time it was the Pac-8. I have some special guests today, Mr. Jim Anderson. Hey, Mr. Jim Anderson, I see you there, sir.
Sir, glad to be here. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. You know, you a big time guy. You be doing your show so much it's hard to book you.
Hey, I know, dig it.
Absolutely. Also, I got some other special guests here.
Yes, sir.
I got the head coach of the Washignton Chiefs, Peete. Peete is my man. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm great, Dr. Myles. How are you, man? Glad to be here.
I'm good. I'm going great. We got our arch nemesis here. You know, we got to get the Chargers here, Cody. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Dr. Myles? It's great to be here as well. How's everyone doing? Thank you for having me.
Magnificent. Yeah.
No problem. And I also got to bring in our reporter here, Keith Jones. Hey, Keith, how you doing today, sir?
Good, Doc. I see it's a alum day, so I guess I picked the right apparel too, being a terrapin myself. So this is kind of, we didn't pass the memo around, but I guess at some point telepathically, like everything else you do, I must have gotten the memo on that. But it's a pleasure to be on the show, and I like the way these guys are getting the humor already. They know exactly.
Oh, absolutely. I started with my Cadoza stuff. You know what I mean? Coach Pete, I started with my Cadoza stuff, but you know, I let them slide this time. But I want to thank you for coming on. You know, as you know, the MFL is the laboratory of change, and we're so excited for the 2021 season because we're excited. We get ready to go. But I want to bring this guest on because this is a special guest, and I call him a special guest when I can get him, Mr. Jim Anderson from up there in New York, Rochester.
Hey.
On his show, great show. What does it mean for the MFL to be there, Mr. Anderson?
Hey, listen, it's already making a change. Dr. Freeman, I tell you guys, you know, so y'all practice hard because Dr. Freeman ain't playing. I think he's thinking like, if you're going to have a Super Bowl in the MFL, I ain't going to say nothing. I ain't going to start nothing. But tell them to get ready. And I'm just waiting for the weather to break because it's going to be radiant up here. Y'all should come on up. Y'all might want to get some tickets, come up here and watch us play. And Patrick would want me to tell you. And by the way, you talking about alma mater day, I was thinking it was Gray. Gray was in. I'm looking at two of y'all missing some, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah, I stayed. I do it purposely. I'm the old elder statesman on here.
You got the cold in?
So I'm trying to hold it back a little bit.
Hey, but listen, when y'all, I'm telling you, the Rochester Chargers, they're going to be serious. We're not going to be playing. You know, the Bills did pretty good, but the Rochester Chargers are going to rock your world. So y'all practice well. Study hard. Get ready. Patrick Freeman, Dr. Freeman, I'm just telling you, like in a laboratory. Hey, this is the laboratory of change, right?
Absolutely.
We'll be bringing it from the north.
Well, I got the coach of the head coach of the Washington Chiefs because they still is the beast in the East now. I want the coach to know that now. He's sitting there quiet.
Let me make notes.
Hey, you stay quiet and you carry a big. I don't have much to say. We do it on the field. We'll put the work in.
Peete is someone that I've been talking with him for years, and I'm not just saying it because he's here, because he know it. I know we've been knowing each other for a long time. Peete, one hell of a coach. I mean, I've been trying to get him for a long time. Peete, tell MFL Nation a little bit about yourself, a little synopsis before I go to the Chargers coach.
Well, I'm a native Washingtonian as well. I went to Woodrow Wilson High School, and
we used to beat them to death.
to get to know Myles, I actually took over his alma mater, which had been in the doghouse for quite a while, and in 2016 got Coach of the Year and resurrected that program again. It's a big deal for me. I told him once I actually had time, it would be lovely, to coach a bunch of men and to actually have a team and have the coaches that I really want. And I was fortunate enough to get all the guys that I really want to coach with me. So we'll see what we can do out here. And, it's going to be great. We will be competitive. I can guarantee you that.
Okay. Hey, Peete. Now, all this mouth I got, Peete. Now, I try to be nice to all these other people. I am, Peete, because the Chiefs is a beast in the East. We got the May rings up there. Mr. Anderson, they ain't just sitting there for nothing, man.
I'm hearing it.
They don't tarnish because they're solid gold.
I'm taking notes, man.
Right. Let me go.
I'm spying for Patrick right now.
Right. He's the head coach of the Rochester Chargers. Great young man. I mean, he's doing some great things in the community. I could not been more pleased when Dr. Freeman told me about this young man and he signed him. I say, hey, you must be picking my mind, because he's just the type of person that we would want at the helm of one of these NFL coaches' jobs. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you, everybody, for having me. A little bit about myself. Again, Teddy McDuffie. I played up my college football up there at Temple University up in Philadelphia. I came back to Buffalo. I coached junior college for about 12 years, or I was the DC for about 10 years. But I'm also, besides just coaching sports, I've also been passionate about, taking care of the youth in the city of Buffalo. For the last 20 plus years, I've been running a youth programming for children and child welfare, and working with runaway and homeless youth through the Department of Office of Child and Family Services. So, one of the things that I really believe in is, reimagining sports and actually being able to, teach kids life skills through the lens of sports. And since this time of COVID and the pandemic, I've been working closely with the Ralph Wilson Foundation here in Western New York, Project Play Be Specific, where we're starting to implement a little bit more sports-based life skills programming with a key focus on social emotional learning. And I'm a real big component of trauma and care form. And when I talk about trauma, it's not always about the clinical perspective. It's about the principles, and the guiding principles is pretty much 5, which is safety, trust, choice, empowerment, and collaboration. So we're trying to integrate that and teach our coaches the principles and working with our kids. This pandemic has really shined a spotlight on some of the issues in the Black community, to be specific, and I don't shy away from that. And what has been happening to us historically with some of the historical trauma, and some of the recent current events and trauma that has happened. So what we're trying to do is we're really trying to focus in on looking and building kids' life skills and social emotional intelligence through the lens of sports. And I'm going to pilot some things this summer. But again, now, to talk about, and that's just my philosophy. So I bring it to coaching as well. I'm really excited about, this opportunity for the Rochester Chargers. I've been getting a lot of, great feedback from the kids in this area. And it's only going to open up opportunities to play sports, and opportunities to help even some of these older young men heal. Because I do think that, we're at a point in life where we need to heal, and I think that we can do some of that through the lens of sports. So, again, thank you for having me. And that's just a little bit about who I am and what I do.
And Coach, was Nick Rapone up there when you were there?
Say that again?
Was Nick Rapone at Temple when you were there?
No, Nick was there. I was there from 93 to 96.
Okay. Okay.
I also, as we have a great talk show, I turn Mr. Jim Anderson loose on you. I also want to have our reporters step in here, because I know Keith want to ask y'all some questions, and especially make sure, because Mr. Jim Anderson is going to talk about the Chargers now. So when you talk to these coaches, we just want to get a feel for what it means for the NFL to be in these places. Let me introduce Keith Jones. Keith?
Well, Doc, this is why you got these guys involved. I mean, if you're not passionate about their franchise, then something is wrong. You picked the wrong guys. But apparently you picked some really good guys. I know you had a long-term relationship with Coach Harris. But Coach McDuffie, when are you going to have time to coach football with all the other stuff you got going on?
Listen, football is my therapy, man. I mean, I get after it. This is what I love to do, So it's all entangled into the same thing. Again, I coach my players the same way. I try to coach them hard, but and I call it before they leave the field, I love them up. I try to make sure that I coach them hard, but they don't take what I do personally on the field and leave with them. So it's all embedded in me and in my coaching philosophy. So this is what I do, and I've been doing it for over 20-something years. So the Rochester Chargers will be ready. We will be ready.
See that?
That's the game of the week, because the Beast in the East come there on June the 5th. Let me step back. Go ahead, Keith, because
that brings me to Coach Harris, because Coach Harris has, I think, a few more years coaching, not just based on her beautiful beards, than you do, Coach McDuffie. But Coach, when you hear that kind of coach speak, if you will, and such, you've been around. You're now at the professional level. That's you've been successful at the lower levels, if you will, but now to bring it to the professional level is a pretty big step for you.
It's a big step, but one of the things that happens with this is I've been doing a lot of the NFL combines, the regional combines. So a lot of these young men, I've already been coaching them and working with them. I train them doing off season, some of these guys, and I have some guys that are currently in the NFL right now. So it's a good thing to actually be to put a staff together of guys that you really want around you, because coaching high school, sometimes for the most part, most of the teams I've coached, it's what I've had. So I had to make the best out of nothing. And now to actually have something where you get to choose is your fault if you don't choose the right kids. So now you actually get to choose, and you get to choose your coaches, and to actually put a program together. It means a lot to me. And the guys that are all there, they say, I'm coaching because of you. Because some of these guys man, otherwise I wouldn't be coaching. And now they all excited. They know Dr. Myles, and he didn't realize some of the guys that I got are retiring. They say, for you, I'll coach. And so it's a big deal for us, and I'm looking forward to it, because we also teach life skills, regardless, because these are still young men, and there's still things that maybe there wasn't a father figure in their life, and a lot of kids now, they still call me pop and dad and all these other things. So it's dear to my heart to get back and to actually do something like this and have the opportunity to do something like this. So I'm very pleased to have this opportunity and work with these young men.
Well, Coach, that's one of the things that inspires me the most, because I've covered the NFL for more than a decade, and I've covered other developmental leagues and minor leagues and stuff. This is the only league that I've found, including the NFL, that does this for the community and does this for their players. The player development and the community involvement and stuff. Yes, you'll see some guys in the NFL get out there and they have the Walter Payton Award, which I think is fantastic. Some guys really do, and Russ Wilson, I know personally, he well deserved that award this year. But to have a league that develops not just the player but the person is really a big thing. And I know Myles is the 25 plus year overnight success story, but with guys like you coming on board to further extend that, and to hear Coach McDuffie talk about that, because I have friends in the Buffalo area, and it's been really a devastated area on a number of levels for a lot of years. So the Bills fans are fantastic. They always root for them. They don't care if they're 1-8 or 8-1, but it's a much bigger metropolitan area than just Buffalo. You get over to Rochester. Rochester is a huge area unto itself. And then you also have RIT up there. You have some universities that's this community involvement is going to be big for the whole area. So, and then the UCO chairs down in DC, we know what that's like. I'm a born and raised Washingtonian as well, so I know what football means in the city. It gets over a lot of times, but at all levels, high school, college, and the pros, DC and the DMV, as it's called now, is certainly still a kind of undiscovered gem to most people.
It is. Yes, it is.
Now, you, Mr. Anderson, I'll turn to you now. Excuse me, I don't know as much about you as
that's
Myles
right.
does, but apparently you come well recommended. So tell us a little bit about your story and your involvement with the league.
Well, and I host a weekly talk radio show in Buffalo, but Dr. Freeman and I go back. And when we, in the city of Buffalo, we don't have the MFL, but with it being in Rochester, it's lighting up the community. The thing that I like the most, because I do a lot of social justice work, and as Teddy was saying, the kind of work that he does, our young people need something to aspire for, but they need to get in arenas where they are embraced with a strong love and a guiding love. And it need to have the presence of those who know the game like you guys and no nonsense. As a kid, kids recognize serious, you can tell when something is good, when it's no play and they can learn something. And I think in Buffalo, a lot of young people like that. We already had a little peewee team and playing. But I think this is huge because there's an economic impact all the way around. There's opportunity in the community for other business to start thinking about how they're going to connect in, whether it's doing transportation, whether it's providing food, whatever. There's an opportunity. And so this other thing is that it's the best step for young people if they really want to go to the NFL. It's better to come into a league that not only is going to work with you for playing football, but in your academic pursuit or whatever other pursuit, you're not going to get that when you're in the NFL. And so you need a feeder, a starter. In fact, it don't even have to be a feeder. It could be just what you need by being in this league and grow it. I mean, the first time Dr. Myles was talking about it, I kept thinking about all those old leagues of sports that existed that aren't around, and people talk about it at sort of in a history lane. Right now, the NFL is the history piece that everybody should be watching. I encourage the community to invest. I've been telling Patrick, come on back and do some radio show in Buffalo. And Teddy, I'm going to hit you up because I think the key part is to keep amplifying the voice that the NFL is here and helping people to understand how they can get connected, helping them to, how their children can get connected, and helping them to know their kids are going to be in good hands. And I think you four, exemplified the kind of coaches people need to see. You can see some coaches you don't want your kids with, but I think those who know the game, got some history, and able to pull together a team, as Brother Harris was saying, it's endless. It's endless what could be. And your international move, listen, these are giant footprints that are happening now. And it's waking up a community because y'all didn't just get this way overnight. Y'all got some time in. A lot of people didn't know you exist. That's why I like trying to use the radio to amplify and let them know it's here. Don't miss the train. Get on board and help ensure them whether you play the game, you can support it. And I just think it's a great time. I think it's going to be a lot of kids who are going to be happy. I think the competitiveness is going to make them strong for the future, no matter where they go, college, and even hopefully some will go on to the pros. And it's just a great time. We're excited in Buffalo. Because look, other than the Bills and the smaller kids that are playing football, this is a league that can prepare you not only to go further in football, but for life. And that's what we need. We need that kind of effort going on.
Well, and Coach McDuffie, you got a nice feeding ground there, University of Buffalo. I mean, that's a really great system. A lot of good coaches, a lot of good players, and most of those players will never see the NFL. So to have an opportunity post college to play in a professional league and get the exposure and stay involved with the community, I mean, that's big. I don't need to tell you about your breeding ground there. Coach, that's some good stuff, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, it's about opportunity. You know, I mean, kids now will have opportunity. I mean, you know, having this platform now gives opportunity, give hope, not just for kids at the University of Buffalo, but we have Erie Community College, we have Cortland down the road, you know, so we're looking at it regional. We have Syracuse up the road. So we have we have a beltway of schools that we will be reaching out to. Again, and we had, for whatever reason, a lot of kids in Western New York after high school don't get recruited, who I think are some damn good athletes. So, you know, being able to give them some opportunity as well and guidance, I think will bring out a talent pool. So, you know, I'm not only looking, I'm looking for them, you know, some of them Division I players for whatever reason, you know, didn't move on to college, and, you know, who's here and need some opportunity and need a little bit of hope. So I just think it's a wonderful platform. I think it's a wonderful time for all of Western New York, you know, Southern Ontario, Niagara Falls, Lackawanna, Lockport, you know, Rochester. I think we have a whole list of, you know, communities that will be impacted by this great opportunity.
Myles, you gave Coach Harris one city, or, you know, maybe a couple of suburbs. You know, he's got a whole region apparently. You know, we're talking about plucking some people out of Canada. I mean, that's
yeah.
This guy, you got to watch out. This guy's on the move, and he just got on board. So I mean, I'm you know, a little more than a little concerned right now for the rest of the league.
Right.
No reason to be concerned.
Yeah. You know what's so unique about the MFL when I started a long time ago, and Coach Harris, he remember when I first started, and we had the little semi-pro leagues, and I never did like that. There's no such thing as semi-pro. You're pro, you're not. It was just an ignorant term people used to justify sandlot football. So I started the minor football league, and what more importantly about that, I had old coaches that I knew from the high schools, because if you recall, Pete, when they had UDC folded, and they telling me they was folded, but I was out of town doing feasibility study, and they split the uniforms up. Because those that got some Easter on the costume. So when I got back, they say, they said, oh, well, I'm sorry, you know, we gave everything away. I said, okay. So I went to those, and they said, no problem, you got them. I went to Easton, Coach Stu said, you got them. I went to those Easton, they said, you got them. And we started the league with the Washington Chiefs because it was so expensive, gentlemen, as you know. I used college uniform, and UDC had high uniform. You could miss and match them. You had 6 uniforms. So I drew the logo of the Washington Chiefs on the bus. We was going up to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and the people said, you know, we had hey, Dr. Michael, you bring your team up here? I said, well, we just started the team. You know, we didn't have but maybe a few months of practicing. And he said, if you come, we'll send a bus. I said, nah. He said, we give you $3,000, a bus, and a hotel. I said, we're on the way.
There you go.
You know, we practice on Thursday. You know, Pete, after Thursday, you can't find these guys. So what I did was and we got some of the guys, and then my coaching staff, I never forget. I say, look, so the coach, we had a meeting. I said, man, they're going to offer us this money and everything. I said, but we can only get 17 players because, you know, we got to call kids all over the place. So Coach Omar, you remember Coach Omar, he said, look, we're going to have to go. And I said, I'll tell y'all what. I said, we're going to suit up. You know what I mean? And they say, no. I said, we got to suit up. The Chiefs have to make a mark or nobody knows. We go up there. We had all the guys go on the bus. People was excited, 17 guys. My whole coaching staff put on uniforms. So when we came out there, we were about 25 then, right? So when they realized what was going on, I mean, I don't know if y'all know about Chambersburg. They were real good to get all these college players from up there that finished school. So it was a 6-6 tie. I mean, it was 6-6 at halftime. So the coach started funny. He said, don't mess with those guys. Some of them guys played professional football before. He said, Coach, why are you doing that? I said, time out. So the official said, you ain't got no more time out, Coach. I said, how many they got? He said, they got 3 yep. I could give us one of those, right? To show you, it was so funny. The people were so happy. They cheered and everything. They said, wow, if you'd have brought the whole team, y'all might have won the game. The game ended up being 18-6 because of the fact that we know the game, Pete. You understand? We knew.
Oh, absolutely.
Just a little older. You know what I mean? After that, coach up the top, listen, everybody called the chief. Everybody called the chief. But I know that would never hurt. I couldn't get out the bed for a month, Keith. I told the guys, people started calling me. So people started calling me from all over. You know, I got the gauge of how much you paying the players. I said, I'm not paying the players at all. We have insurance and stuff. And they said, well, the players are flying. Man, linebackers, man, from Colorado, man, coming from California, from all over, man. Big guy. Offensive line, 6'7", 365. But you had to get them a place to stay. You know what I mean? You had to get them a place to stay, and that was the problem. Then you had to feed them. I said, we'll make do, because I own some property there, so it was good. But we went all up and down the East Coast beating people.
Whoa.
Bad. So it kind of put us on the map, Pete. So they say, what's the name of this league? I say, the MFL. They say, how many teams you got? I say, here. I said, you can't. They said, what do you mean? How much it cost? I said, you can't get in this league. And then I got my coaching staff together. They'll tell you, we used to go all around the country doing feasibility studies, man, where we was going to put franchises at. You know, Mr. Jim Anderson, that's what we did. And we say now, if these kids coming across the country just to play, then this must be some special. Then Bobby Wilson came. You know, Bobby Wilson with the Redskins number, our president. He said, man, if I don't play, I'm coming with you, Myles. I said, oh, yeah, right. He came, boy, with all them. He said, but they're going to be my coaching staff. I said, fine with me. You know what I mean? So it's the fact that these guys came aboard and the players that we had, man, made the Chiefs what they were. But we have to, in order to duplicate that, we had to go into different parts of the country and put franchises there. I wasn't taking no chance on nobody getting some sand-out players, old guys my age out there trying to play. People don't see that. I took a playbook from the Miami Dolphins and the Bears, and I put it together. You know what I mean? To make our playbook. That's what I did. And, you know, we were successful because we had a lot of kids was from Division I school. I remember when Ray Lewis got hurt. You remember that, Pete? We had kid played middle linebacker for us. His name was Tim Johnson, All-American out of Wake Forest. They called over. Howard coaches called me and say, you still got Tim Johnson over there because the Ravens looking for a linebacker. They remember the guy. You know, they had their information. He went back home, no phone. You know, I went crazy. They were saying, could you get in contact with him? But the Ravens were ready to sign him. And the great thing about the Redskins was bringing our players over, give them a tryout, you know, the private tryout and stuff. We had that rapport with the most of the guys that played in the league when I played and other people. They would be scouts for the other NFL teams would come to our games. That what made the NFL different. And I said, I'm not going to pay guys, but I'm going to do $1 million worth of insurance on the guys. I'm going to take in a travel expense, a hotel. We're gonna travel like the pros if we're not paying you. I say, how would you like to get some film on yourself? Don't worry about getting hurt. We have insurance and stuff. But it just goes to show you how this league was put together. See, people always see, you know, they know the glory about everything, but they don't know the story behind it.
That's right.
You know what I mean, Mr. Jim Anderson? They don't know the story.
Hey, that patchwork that you have to do.
I spend so much money. And man, it cost me a marriage because they don't understand that. You know, they don't understand that. You spending money for something. But I say it will work. I say all you have to do is put everything in motion. I got former NFL players as coaches, you know, kids came from all over the country. Then I said, well, look, we want the kids to stay home. Just like you just said, Coach, up in Ontario, up in Buffalo, look at all them kids. It'll be a shame if them kids have to travel to go trial for one team when you got a franchise right there. You follow what I'm saying? You see what I did, Keith? I put franchises everywhere. Down in Florida, great ball players down there. Texas, great ball players all over. So we put the franchise there. Thus, the MFL was born, gentlemen. Not only that, we want to help former players to come from the field to the front office. We're going to offer you head coaching jobs. We offer you GM jobs. We offer you an opportunity to own the franchise. You understand? This is a league was built for the people and by the people, for the economic development. We go into places, the first thing they ask is, so how much of the city got to pay y'all? You ain't got to pay us nothing. We're accumulating our own. Not only that, all these kids in college, if you're in marketing, broadcast journalists, sports management, you in sport, come here. You can intern here. At least you're doing what you went to school for, and you're not doing no gopher work. Come here. Tell the kids, come here. We're going to teach you. We're going to give you an opportunity. I had kids come all the way from California, from USC, the intern, all the way from California. They interned with us. They stayed in a hotel and they paid their own way, but they came here to intern, Keith. And you know what they said? We ain't never seen nothing like this before in our life. We ain't never seen nothing like this. You think they thought we had so much money? You don't have to have money, just look like you got it. You know what I mean? Because what we always say, gentlemen, image is everything. Yes. And you get one chance to make a first impression. After, I'm proud of not just me, but you guys make the MFL what it is. Just like years ago, I used to tell people, we made the NFL what it is. You know what I mean? Think about it. They had 100 years to get that thing together. We only been around 28. We doing pretty good, gentlemen. And
you are.
It can only get better. And what we try to do, and I tell people all the time, we're not taking up. We want to enhance what the community doing. We bring in jobs, economic development. We need people to work at the parking lot. We need people to do the concession. We need people. We need to stay in a hotel. We got to pay you for that, right? We need buses. We got to pay you to use the buses, right? So look at that's the economic development of it all. Then we got our players have to do 100 hours of community service, coach. Each player has to do 100 hours of community service. Even our dance team. So you see, we're giving back to the community. We're not taking anything. And more importantly, gentlemen, we there. Those are people that went to college up there and was good and this and that. And mom, what is he doing now? Oh, he on the corner? He playing with the Rochester Chargers in the MFL. Oh, he playing with the Washington Chiefs. Now you still have, this is where you still have value in people. You still relevant. That's what the MFL want, gentlemen. And if I get a little excited about it, gentlemen, as you see, I'm not going to come to this because I put my I bled and everything. And these are the type of things what make the MFL so unique. We did a big deal, gentlemen. We signed a apparel deal. Did you see that, Mr. Anderson? Did you see that?
Listen, we signed everything you do.
We have our own apparel, not only MFL, but each franchise had their own apparel. You don't have to buy nothing in bulk. If you want to go and get 2 shirts or whatever, and free delivery, you know what I mean? The stuff you ain't got to pay for that. These are the things that makes us so different. And I tell people all the time, man, we are the laboratory of change, gentlemen. And if you can't see that, don't worry about it. And people tell me I'm a little arrogant. I say, be a part of it or a victim of it. We really don't care because we pushing straight ahead. And with people, I think we have some great GMs, great coaches and stuff. People think that, don't give me the credit. Don't give me the credit. I don't want the credit. These young individuals we have as coaches and GMs and Keith and you, Mr. Y'all the one that deserves credit because you know what I was saying, out of sight, out of mind. People always say, we never heard of you. A reporter told me that in Florida. She said, this is nice, Dr. Myles, but I've never heard of the MFL. And I looked at it, I said, China got 1 billion people, and I guarantee you not one of them ever heard of you. So what did that mean? Yes, you did, but I'm going to check you at the door. You not here, but what are you doing here? I ain't called no press conference. So I got off the elevator, off the air, when I got off that plane down in Tallahassee, Florida, they was all over me. You thought I was running for president, y'all. Talking about this and that. But it just goes to show you, people looking for a niche. They want a niche. They want to be a part of something. They just want the opportunity to be a part of something. I'll let you take that, Mr. Anderson, before you give it to the other guy. I mean, isn't that the way it always be? Stop talking about Black Wall Street. It's gone. It's gone. This is the future. The MFL is the future. We are the laboratory of change.
That's right.
People, we ask you to come. I used to tell people this is the greatest show on earth. It's going to only cost you 50 cents to see it. Not $20, not $100, but 50 cents to see this show.
You know, if people want to talk about Black Wall Street, I tell people when they talk about Tulsa, look, you got to go to Tulsa before it became Black Wall Street. Mm-hmm. And that is what the NFL is positioned and showing now. Look at your reach. Look at the inspiration. I'm telling you, as it goes deeper into the fabric of the community and the hearts and minds of people, you got a legacy already. I mean, look, I'm an old guy. And when I heard about MFL, it brought back memories of all those leagues that was tried and would run around and had their circuit and stuff. And I'm saying you elevated it in a whole different way. We're in a new moment of time where there's other talents and other energies, their mindsets on how to build. So people with business skills are going to look at the NFL to see how they can collaborate and get in on it. And families, I'm thinking about the many mothers. We know the dads will be down, but the mothers care. The many mothers that make sure their kids get into something healthy and that could give them a future. I mean, look at all those sports figures. What do you see? You see the whole family, but mama be the main inspiration. Daddy can teach the skills and all that stuff, you know, and when they become coaches like you guys. But I'm just thinking about the proud mothers, and I'm thinking about the proud communities, and I'm thinking about the other kids who are going to get excited by seeing, wow, it's doable. Those are not old guys going in. These are guys just a step above them. They got something to aim at that's visible. And I think we're popping up at, like, look, the future is ours. And all we have to do is do whatever we can to make every little aspect work. Whether you play ball or not, you got something that connects to this venue, get in. And I'm really excited. I think that there are more people, and I think after this, we get beyond COVID a little bit, I think you're going to see the radiance even more. It's sort of like a caterpillar in the spirits of something when they get ready to bloom. And so, I mean, this is good. And like I said, your international connection, man, this is huge. I mean, this is what you guys got on you. You should be proud of. And I'm looking forward. I'm hanging around and rolling along, right along with it, bragging about it, talking about it. And man.
And we're going to definitely have you on all the shows. And when after we come up there and visit y'all, the Chiefs, and y'all come down here, it'll be something different. Pete?
Well, you know, the one thing that I see, and this came from doing the combines, that a lot of these kids they weren't even prepared for the combines. And a lot of kids, when I would talk to them and said, you know, were you really told about this? Do you really understand that this is a once in a lifetime thing that you're doing here? Now, to be able to coach them and develop them, just not on the field, but off the field. And that's what we're really doing. And that's more important to me than anything else, because you get to watch these guys, and it's not what they do in the next 2 or 3 years, but you see these guys, like a lot of my kids, when I see them 10 years later, and I see they're the CEO of this or something like this, and they tell me, you know, some of them life skills you taught me, some of those things you said to me, and then you take it, you tell me verbatim what I said, and you say, well, you thought I wasn't paying attention. I said, wow, that is what makes me smile. And we get the opportunity to do this again, you know, and like I said, it is not about the money. These kids get to see something a little bit different, and you're not just a number. You have guys like you gentlemen out here, you actually care, and we're giving back to the community on top of everything else. So it means a lot. And yes, I'm excited just as well as the rest of you guys, because this is very exciting to me.
Well, if Myles wasn't excited, then I would be disappointed, because he's the engineer that drives this train. But even the NFL, more than 100 years later, they're still making mistakes. You know, the Free Power Alliance and the lack of I mean, one black coach got hired, and it was in Houston, and their black quarterback wants to leave. So, I mean, they got issues. in that franchise. But that's the thing about that Myles has together. It's not about just playing the game of football. It's about giving an opportunity to get somebody experienced like you, Coach Harris, to take the helm. And if those players want to do something afterwards, if they want to be a general manager or a coach or whatever they want to be, even an owner, as Myles will say, all those things are possible. And that's really, when I say developmental league, that's not a negative connotation. That's a very complimentary one, because the NFL doesn't develop players. They get the best guys there. You talk about the combine and the guys that aren't ready. It's a make or break for their career. If they're not running the right number for the 40, they're overlooked. There's some guys that you haven't heard of, or the scouts aren't aware of, will do a great combine and then get picked up by a team. But it's a numbers game, as Myles also talks about all the time. And there are so many good and really good players that are out there that just don't get the opportunity because they play at a smaller school or for whatever the reason. Being the numbers games. There's a lot of linebackers this year. So if you're the 15th best linebacker, you may not get on a team, or you might make the practice squad or what have you. But you want to play. I tell players all the time at the high school level, because they or their parents will always ask me where their kids should go to college. And I'm sure, Coach Eric, you've run into this. Is it better to be the third string guy on the bench at a program like Alabama, or is it better to be the starter for a smaller Coastal Carolina team and get the reps? So I always tell them, you got to make your choice. But to me, the answer is you got to get in front of people, because nowadays, like when we were playing in high school, you had to send tapes all over the place if you could even put your tape together to try to get recruited. Nowadays, with social media and the internet and everything else, you can see a player. You don't even have to go to scout a player anymore, because the information is there, and most of the teams get broadcast in one way or another anyway. So that whole dynamic has changed. So you get your reps, you get developed as a player, and a lot of guys mature later, as the coaches know. And it depends on the player, and you got to pick the right ones. And that's as we know, general manager wise, that's a tough business, because if everybody knew what they were doing, they'd all pick the best players, and that doesn't happen.
See, you also for the parents, it's a very rude awakening, because I've been able to go to some of these schools with parents, because they don't understand what a Division I football player is, and to take them and to actually walk around and for them to see and hear the lingo, it blows their mind. I had parents say, Coach, I just don't know what to tell you. I just thank you so much for even going here. I said, I can show you better than I can tell you, because I can talk to you all day, but you have to see this for yourself so that you understand exactly what's going on. And that means a lot to me to show these parents. I mean, even now, these young men, when they come out to these combines, I'm like, you're not prepared for this. I ran into several of my kids, forgot to call me to ask me to help them work out. I said, do you realize you get 2 or 3 reps or something like that? And if you drop a couple of passes, guess what? They're not looking at you. If you don't know how to do these drills, nobody's here to teach you.
That's right.
I said, and it's sad. You all don't get it. And, now we really get a chance to work with these kids just all the way around. Like I said, it's much more than its football piece. And Dr. Myles knows that, because he talks about helping these kids with this extra credit and everything else that they can do in the community. And he's helped my kids a lot, with his foundations and doing different things. And they get this extra, time to work with other people and do all kinds of things. And at this point in time, some of these guys, they come out of college and they still not ready. And that's really sad. We get a chance to make a difference in their lives and put them back on track. And whether it's football, I tell them, I don't really care whether you continue to play, but I said, use this sport to get ahead. I said, it teaches you a lot. I played at East Tennessee State, and I remember the coach telling me, I didn't think that we could get kids from D.C. I said, you can get kids from anywhere if you go there and you actually talk to the kids. You'll be surprised. Every kid does not want to stay in their home state. They want to leave. I said, so you can get kids from up there, but you got to go get them. So,
Coach, Ted.
Again, what everyone's saying, I just piggyback. I mean, how I see it as well is the opportunity for coaches, like even for myself, coaching and being a DC for so many years, to get the opportunity in the MFL to be a head coach has been absolutely a blessing. And and for my coaching staff, my coaching staff who's been coaching high school and been coaching college for a while, to be able to coach on a professional level and to be able to have athletes now who are adults and not coaching, younger kids, and now really being able to see, your schemes coming to fruition, how you teach it is like, yes, so not only am I excited, I think my whole coaching staff and opportunities that they're going to have, and just again, the players, and not just for football, but again, like Dr. Myles, like you continue to say, not just preparing these kids for, football, but life after football, because this game teaches so many lessons about life. And you know what I mean? I always call them teachable moments, where you can catch a kid at a teachable moment, like when I'm running drills. And one of the things that I remember, and I always tell a player, I say, when are you going to get serious? I always say, when you going to get it serious? Like, coach, I'm going to get serious next play. I say, I'm not talking about next. I'm talking about life, son. I'm talking about life. When are you going to get serious? And these are the things that, that you can use this sport to be able to do, because, again, how they go about their day-to-day with this game of football says a lot about how they're going to go their day-to-day about their lives. And if we can wake them up through this sport, with some phrases that meet them on their level, I just think that it's just a wonderful opportunity, because football here in Western New York, a lot of kids has not had this platform. A lot of coaches, including myself, has not had this platform. So I am forever grateful to Dr. Myles. I'm forever grateful to the MFL and to those who are involved, because it's not just a blessing for all of Western New York, but it's a blessing for me and my family as well.
Indeed. I'm looking up over Coach Harris' shoulder at that NFL logo. And I'm thinking how in the community around the nation and now around the world, it's iconic. It speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And the young people that you're working with now, they're going to amplify it, because they're going to rise up, and they're going to be talking about, yeah, well, this is where I got it. This is, how it is. When something is good, you want to tell somebody. All those young people are going to tell somebody. All those parents are going to tell somebody. And I'm just telling you, this is going to be such a great moment of blooming. And you guys could have went off and just chilled and wait till when you're sitting around chilling with the fellas and talk about, yeah, I used to do this. But y'all planned it back forward. We need that, because what has been going on inside. Everything that I was listening to Coach Air talking about, the problems that folks don't know before they get there, you guys can bring it early to them, sober them up, get them real, get them ready for the game of life and the game of football. And I mean, this is just a very static, not a static moment. It's a moment that is so vibrant. I often like to say it's an impregnated moment. But what you're delivering is showing that, hey, man, get ready. Make some room, y'all. In fact, hey, go tell everybody it's over here. This is where the action is. MFL is the laboratory of change, and it's happening. It's making it. It's for real, for real.
Absolutely. We want everybody to you go to our website, MFLishere.com. And also, gentlemen, want to tell MFL Nation, our apparel is here. Our sponsor, we got the deal, the stuff looking good. We should be seeing everybody with MFL stuff on. Not only that, you have your own team. You can wear their apparel. It's always be a part of something. Then it's not something that you see. You got a cousin, or uncle, or son, somebody playing, affiliated with that franchise. And that's what's so great about it. And then it's not local, it's national. International, these are the types of things that make the MFL unique. But I want to just I just want to thank you guys for being on. Let's keep wrap it up, but also I want to thank our thank our sponsor over there in London. We got the deal done with Civilized Apparel. we are excited. I know they watch
Wow.
the show. We're going to have him on the show. We had him on the show one time. But we are excited about our apparel, gentlemen, MFL Nation. I mean, you know, I always tell them, we got everything that other league got. We got everything. Anything they got, we got. You know what I mean? You have an opportunity to represent your prospective franchise and whatever part of the country you in. These are the things that we're excited about, and this would make the MFL the laboratory of change, and why we are so looking forward to kicking off. Our combines will be starting on the end of March. You know, we will be putting that up. We're excited about that. We just want people to understand that the MFL is here, and we're the laboratory of change. And what we mean by that, we want to bring former players to the front office, the opportunity to coach, GM. We have a lot of people. They're excited about this, and why is it? You know, what is the big significance about this, Keith? I mean, you in the media along with Mr. Anderson, but you know, you've been covering the NFL, the XFL, the Lions League, all them leagues that try to imitate the NFL. We don't imitate nobody. We who we are, they who they are. We don't try to be nothing other than ourselves, Keith.
Right, that's a great point. But Dr. Richard D. Myles Sr. is a tough act to follow. I just want to put that out there before you bring me, let me close this show. But that's exactly right, and that's the thing about this league, that the people that understand it, the saying is, if you know, you know. That's what MFL is, because you're not trying to be the NFL junior. You're not trying to be all this XFL-ish thing and such, and you have the window of opportunity now, because the XFL is going to start up again, but not till 2022. There's a whole year until that time happens. So they've made mistakes strategically, but the MFL has the world all to themselves, and I think just the groundwork that you've laid, and even Mr. Anderson, who's indirectly involved with a franchise, understands the scope of what has been not only presented but developed, and what will continue to be developed. And the two gentlemen, one in Washington, Coach Harris, and one up in Rochester, and Coach McDuffie, understand the impact of being able to be a head coach in a professional league, especially from the football standpoint, and what that means. And it's just an extension of the mission that you've started, Myles.
Yeah, and we also want people to know, we have programs for young people, no thugs, no drugs, early youth offender program, conflict resolution. We are part of the community. You know, we're not just there to play football. You know, life is, my old high school coach, Mr. Bob Head, a great guy. He used to always, when I got in my 10th grade year, I made the team. They just come off the championship. And after practice, he would tell us when we got in the circle after practice, breathing hard, tired. He said, "Gentlemen, you need to savor this, because a lot of people cannot do what you guys doing." You know, and these are some of the things I remember that. Like our apparel is here, MFL Nation. Take a look at this stuff here.
Look at that.
Everybody wearing MFL apparel along with your franchise in your area. But there you go. Look at it. A laboratory of change. Y'all see that? You see what that's
Absolutely.
Looks good too.
Silver XF is the F. I'm getting a little tongue tied. And that's what we doing. When I get excited, y'all. But I mean, look at this stuff, man. I mean, come on now. Look at this. There's no reason why y'all do not show your support for the MFL. And we're excited about it. And we want everybody, we got stuff for even little kids, adults, kids. We want everybody to get on there and grab this apparel, walk around the streets with it. Because I'm telling you, man, and I was joking with our partner over there in England. I said, the MFL will be there next. They look. I said, the MFL is coming. We will be abroad. Give me 2 years, gentlemen. We'll go the other way this time. But, I want to thank y'all, gentlemen, for being on today. And I'm not wrapping it up just yet. I just want to express that to you guys. And, because I got always catch Mr. Anderson. He's so busy. We got to make sure we get him on the show. And then, every we come on twice a week on Wednesdays and Fridays from 5 to 6. And we're going to have different head coaches on. We've always had Keith to run them through the mill, as usual. Keith nice now. He really not that nice, y'all. No question. But we all will be there at the combine. And I just want to say, Mr. Anderson, this is so, and I know you with the Chargers. I know you is. Mr. Anderson, before we start talking, Dr. Myles, I said, Mr. Anderson, we love the show. But it just goes to show you the excitement that this league bringing to all the different areas that the combines is in. Mr. Anderson.
Yes, indeed. Listen, this is it. I mean, anybody, look, you don't have to get hyped on the excitement. You automatically get excited because of what's going on. I mean, it's like walking and saying, wow, didn't know it exists. And now that is, hey, I'm in. I'm going to try and pull as many people as I know in. I want to be bragging about the NFL. And I want to be one of those that when others discover and say, man, I've been there. I've been there. This is it. I mean, what did Keith say? When you know. That's it, And so all we have to do is keep seeing in the community and watching us grow, get better and better, and watch. It's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. Like I say, we want to thank our partner, Silver FX Sportswear. I mean, that's the company. We ready to roll with us, and he'll tell you. Andy say he always say, and the Charger store is up. All the different franchises stores will be up all week long until all of them up. And more importantly, gentlemen, I want to take this time and tell everybody, MFL Nation was supporting us all this time. I know we way ahead of what people thought we was. Food everybody, Pete, gentlemen, Rochester, Charger. I always tell people, thank God for social media, gentlemen? Because now we control the narrative. Pete, we control the narrative. Keith, you and me, we control the narrative now. This is the great thing about the MFL. We don't have to wait we don't need to talk about no TV deal with nobody because we got social media here. And the difference with social media, they see you all around the world. Everybody see us. They ask us for stuff over in Ireland, fans over there. And that's great. When you think about it, the countdown is on, gentlemen, as you can see with the MFL. So we really excited. And, when you get people like, y'all come on the show, and we want people around the country to see y'all. We want people around the country get an opportunity to see you, GM, but get an opportunity and coaches put a face with the name. It's going to be nice when the Chiefs head up to Rochester, because I know that everybody's excited. They want to see it. I have to bring this up, Coach, so don't get mad. We came up there, I might have been 15 years ago, and played some team up there, and they told us we come a long way to get beat. And before halftime, the official would tell me, he said, please don't score no more, Dr. Myles. I said, no, they got to see what it is. The is the best. When we got through, that score was 58-0.
Whoa.
So, but that was another era and stuff. The MFL is there now. So that's not somebody we come in to play MFL franchise. So we know it can go either way. It's just simple as that. And what's more importantly, gentlemen, we're all a part of a greater organization, a big organization, and we're excited about it. We let you wrap it up, Keith, for us. We got a minute. Go ahead, Keith.
All right, I'll take the minute, Doc. You're doing a great job as usual, orating on that, and it's just really inspiring to see the enthusiasm and the understanding of what's going on in the MFL, from Mr. Anderson all the way over to both coaches, and that's really what, in essence, what it's about. It's not about getting excited to play football. That's easy. You get excited real fast on that if you're a football fan of any level. But when you have something this important for not just the community, not for just the United States, but for the world, it really cuts right down to when you have an understanding very quickly of what Myles has put in place. But I appreciate coming on the show. Nice to meet all you gentlemen. I'm sure I will at some
Likewise.
point, everyone
Indeed.
face to face, and of course I'm sure I'll probably see Coach Harris before I see Coach.
Nice to meet everybody. Absolutely. And
Appreciate
Coach
it.
Harris, it's a pleasure meeting you too, my brother.
Thank you.
Likewise, man. You guys, this is a class act, and I'm looking forward to coaching with you guys and making this league go straight to the top.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You've been listening to another edition of Inside the MFL. I'm your host, Dr. Richard D. Myles Sr. We'll see you on Friday. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Stay strong, everybody.
Hey,
Keep the
stay
faith.
safe and healthy, gentlemen.
Hey, definitely.
Right.